Hi, I'm Lisa Rangel with Chameleon Resumes, the premier executive resume writing company. And thank you so much for joining me today. So today I want to talk about holiday hiring and the common misconceptions that job seekers have about getting hired during the holidays. So that's what I want to talk about today. Because I could tell you that from working with clients with Chameleon for the last 10 years or so, and from when I recruited for 13 years, I hear over and over and over again that job seekers tend at all levels, executive, professional, and entry level, they tend to think, well, it's the holiday, it's December, it's November, and you know things slow down, it's not as busy, and people don't get hired. One part of that is true, and one part of that is a common misconception. So I'm going to tell you which part is true, and I'm going to tell you which part is the misconception here. So the part that's true is that hiring does slow down. There are fewer jobs typically posted during the holiday season. But the part that is the misconception is that people, don't get hired. It's actually not true. People get hired a lot during the holidays. And here's why. I'm gonna explain to you why. So when recruiters, hiring departments, search firm recruiters, whatever the case may be, when they have a job that's open, and if it's an urgent opening, and that urgent opening is happening in November, December, they're not going to put off the recruiting for that particular position until January. They're going to recruit for it now because it's urgent. It's a needed position. If that job is not urgent, needing to be filled immediately, they will put it off to January if they could, because it'll just be one less thing to do during the holidays, right? So as a result, while there might be an overall fewer positions that are available and open and being recruited for in November and December, if it is open in November and December, I'm telling you, odds are it's an urgent opening that needs to be hired quickly. And then when you add in, there's fewer candidates that are applying. If it's urgent, they're not dragging the hiring process out and possibly even interviewing fewer candidates to make the hire. So it winds up being that it's a faster hiring process typically. And again, these are generalizations, but it's typically a faster process. It typically has less rounds, less candidates, and if it's an urgent opening, they're going to want somebody who's qualified to start quickly. So it's just less shopping goes on and more hiring goes on, which is ironic, right? Because it's a shopping season in theory, right? Being holiday season, but less candidate shopping is going on in November and December, and more results-driven hiring is going on in November and December. And I could tell you when I recruited, some of my biggest months, usually the biggest month was a January, February, possibly, the beginning of the year. But I could tell you in places, in spot 2 and 3 for being the highest months, typically for me were December and the summer, because the same philosophy happens during the summer hiring as well. There are fewer openings during the holidays as well as summer. But I can tell you that if it's a position that is open during the holidays and not being put off to being recruited for and hired for in the following quarter, being January, February, it is because it is needed. So with that said, if you're a job seeker, don't give up looking for a job in November and December. Keep it going. Now, don't get me wrong. If you need a break, if you're a little fried and you need to regroup and refresh, do that. And do that any time of the year, because you will do better in your search when you are recharged and refreshed. And if that happens to be now during the holidays, then just take the time that you need to get recharged and refreshed. However, if you already got your mojo, if you are raring to go, don't just put your search off because you think it's slow during the holidays. If you continue your search, you will be one of those candidates that is in that smaller candidate pool applying for a job that needs to urgently be filled. And if it's the job that's for you and you're the right qualifications for that job and you show up being one of those fewer candidates in that smaller pool vying for that job, you've just increased your odds for a job that is genuinely open and genuinely needing to be urgently filled. So you've just increased your odds of getting hired faster. So, while the hiring season is different in November and December compared to the other times of the year, it's not slow in general. It's active in a different way, and it just depends on how you capitalize on it. So if you are of the mindset that you want to continue your job search and you don't need a break, you got to know that there's opportunity out there for you. So I've created a guidebook on how to get hired during the holidays, and I'm coupling it with my job search, my job landing mindset book, because it really is about believing that you can get hired during the holidays. That's going to increase your chance of getting hired during the holidays, because then you'll start looking for possibilities. You'll start looking for networking events. You'll start capitalizing on all the social activities that happen during the holidays, company parties and get-togethers in your town, and civic events that people get together, and that's networking. So there's so many different ways that people take a step back and relax during the holidays that can present you an opportunity. So I have my mindset book and a job landing book during the holidays book that I'm putting together in a little bundle that you can see at the end of this. In the description here, you'll see the link there. But the main thing is that if what I want you to take out of this video is, if you are ready to go still in your job search, don't put it on hold just because you've heard that it's slow. Because I'm telling you, there is opportunity to be capitalized on during this holiday season, and why not you, right? So just keep going. Enjoy your holidays, everyone. I hope this video helps you. And if you have any questions, email me at lr@chameleonresumes.com, or post a comment at the end of the video, and I read and reply to every comment and email that I receive. If you think this will help somebody, I ask you to share, like the video if you've enjoyed it, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next video that I have next week. So again, Lisa Rangel, Chameleon Resumes, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.